So far this morning the weather's clear, so the birds are out enjoying, scratching, digging around. I have the boys out in the paddock so they can stretch out a little bit, get out of that shelter for a while. With all the rain, I haven't kept up with cleaning their water very well. So far, no manure in the water. Instead, they've taken to going in the mineral feeder now. But the mineral feeder is holding nice and strong. No issues there. It's actually shaping up to be a decent looking day. Only problem is I have to head into town because I have a dentist appointment for a teeth cleaning. On the homestead, when it comes to structures or functions of different elements on the homestead, always try to make sure that there's at least a dual purpose. We try to do something called function stacking. I apply that same function stacking philosophy off the homestead as well in my daily life. Anytime I have to drive somewhere, I try to get two functions out of it. In this case, I went to the dentist, and also since I'm in town, this gives me the opportunity to stock up on some awesome organic produce. Not as productive as I had hoped. This time last year, this organic grocery store had this enormous, I mean, massive case. It was like a whole truckload of butternut squash in there. They're selling organic butternut squash 69 cents a pound. I thought we'd stock up on that since our garden did not produce any this year, but they really didn't have much. I talked to the produce manager though, and he said early November they're gonna have that deal again in this massive glut of them, so we'll check back, and he said we can get some bulk discounts. Viewer Manchurian Palace left a comment under the pork belly roast video talking about this Chinese dish. I don't know how to pronounce it. Instead of a pork belly roast, it's a braised pork belly with ginger and spices. So I got some ginger here, and we're gonna give that a spin. It won't be exactly how the dish calls for. I don't have a recipe, but we'll whip something up with it tomorrow. I'm stopping by Grandma's place. I got her a bag of Concord grapes. They happen to be both her favorite and my favorite grapes. So get her a little treat. Hello.
Hello.
Got you something.
It's cold. Oh, the grapes?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
What are you doing? Are you hiding? Are you hiding? You're not doing a very good job. I think I know what this is. Oh yes. This is our polyfilm that we ordered for the cattle panel greenhouse. Of course, we haven't made any progress on it from last week. I was hoping to have had the cattle panel greenhouse framed and the cattle panels all installed before this arrived, but life just didn't cooperate with that this week. That's better. I did not have a lot of tangible productivity today. This morning before I left to go to the dentist, I had a really long conversation with my mentor. I've only been able to talk with her once since we started homesteading. Reason being is she's a professional farmer. She runs a steer and feeder hog operation. She runs the entire farm by herself, so she stays pretty busy with it. But we had a long conversation. She asked me, what is my plan for managing the sheep during the slaughter process? I've been giving this a lot of thought lately, and I thought I had it figured out until I talked to her, of course. I know the conditions I need to create in order for it to go down, meaning I need a place that is contained, and the sheep need to be slaughtered individually, and where the others that haven't been slaughtered yet don't see it and don't know what's going on. My plan was very simple. I was simply gonna unhook the gate handles to the laneway there and just reconstruct the laneway. Run the line back down and then across over to there, reopen the corral, and I'd have them go in one at a time in the corral. I would put their feed trough in the paddock just like it is now, throw some hay in it, the sheep would all run in there, and then I would get one of the sheep and just guide it away, close the paddock off behind me so the other three can't get out, that one won't go back in, and then I'll get the bucket of alfalfa pellets because they're bucket trained. If they see or hear that bucket, they'll follow me anywhere I want them to go. So I would just take the bucket and just walk them along here. Keep walking down there and have them go into the corral. My mentor pointed out some possible issues I might run into doing that. One is the butcher who's coming out to do the slaughter has the mobile truck, and he's gonna want to do the slaughter right at the back of the truck. My vision was that they would be slaughtered in the corral. Of course, he's not gonna be able to back the truck up into the corral. It's pretty closed off. The next thing she pointed out was it might be more difficult than I think to actually lure one of the lambs away from the other three, especially for that long of a distance from the paddocks out here all the way down to the corral on the other side there. They might not want to leave their other buddies, even if it does mean some alfalfa pellets. There are two options for truck access, and that's right here, or the truck can back in up to the corral. What I'm leaning toward doing is reconstructing the laneway, moving their shelter down toward here so we don't have to travel a long distance, and basically make a little pen. I have this hog panel left over from when I needed to make like a little mini corral within the corral when we administered the natural dewormer over the summer. So I can use that hog panel on the front of the shelter to keep the sheep confined in there, have the shelter pretty close. I have the back of the shelter facing where the slaughtering is going to occur. I thought that I would need to have the sheep further away for them to not know what's going on, but my mentor said it's not so much the distance, it's just that their view needs to be obstructed. I'd like to hear from you guys on this. Leave a comment down below and let me know about your slaughtering experiences, if you've ever brought in a mobile slaughter unit to come in and process the animals, especially on a place that doesn't have any kind of facility for that set up. I'd like to hear from you guys regarding how you manage your livestock pre-slaughter. I forgot to tell you the other thing my mentor said about keeping the sheep in the paddock, my original plan. She said that the electric polywire fencing is great for normal conditions, but if they get spooked terribly by the slaughter process, they might just run right through the fence, and then slaughter day turns into capturing the sheep day. That's why she recommended using hog panel or cattle panel to make a really small paddock area for them, so they have physical fencing, not just a psychological barrier. I got another viewer comment to my pork belly roast video. Viewer Lynn Addis has requested I make a video about how we cure our pork at home. I have one more pork belly left here in the freezer that I'm gonna thaw and turn into bacon just for you, Lynn. This is going to take about a week to thaw in the refrigerator, and then once we start the curing process, it takes about another week for it to be fully cured out to where we can make bacon. So keep your eye out for that video in the next couple weeks.